Why do they win when you're better? Why do they lead when you know more? Because they act like gods while you wait to be chosen. Today we fix that. You're going to act like the best because perception rules reality. This is not about ego, it's about power. And those who act as if they are the best, a look around you. The world is filled with skilled men invisible. Experts ignored, geniuses forgotten. And why? Because they never mastered the one law that governs all human interaction. Perception is power. You could be a king, but if you move like a peasant, you will be treated like one. Understand this: people do not see what is. They see what they're shown. They do not investigate your value. They respond to your presence. They won't ask what you've achieved. They'll decide how to treat you based on how you behave in the first 3 seconds. Your posture, your voice, your eye contact. That's the RA summa they raid, not your degrees, not your experience, not your truth. So what happens to the man who walks into the room as if he owns it? The room bends because people follow certainty, not competence. They chase charisma, not credibility. They crave to be led, and they trust the one who appears most capable of doing so. And here's the irony. The one who appears most capable often isn't. But it doesn't matter, because in the eyes of the world, image is fact. Behavior is truth, and the perception you project becomes the reality they accept. Now ask yourself, what do you project? When you speak, do others stop? When you enter, does the air shift? Do they look at you like you know something they don't? Or do you fade? Do you blend into the background, dressed in humility, masked by modesty, waiting for someone to notice the brilliance you quietly hold? Because if you are, you're playing the wrong game. And the game is brutal. This world does not reward what's hidden. It rewards what's undeniable. It rewards command, the ability to make others believe, without proof, without debate, that you are superior. So act like it. No, not with arrogance. Arrogance is loud and insecure. You don't need that. What you need is poise. Poise is the weapon of the powerful. You speak less, but when you do, it lands. You walk slower, because rushing is for the uncertain. You listen with stillness, because you know you don't need to prove a thing. When you act like the best, when every inch of you broadcasts unshakable certainty, others will believe it before you do. And this is the part they never taught you. Belief is not a reaction. It's a strategy. You don't wait to believe in yourself after you've accomplished something. You believe first, and the world rearranges itself to match that belief. Yes, it's manipulation. Yes, it's performance. But all power is performance. The throne is not given to the most honest. It's taken by the most convincing. You want proof. Look at your leaders, your boss, your politicians, your icons. Are they the most skilled, the most virtuous, the most deserving? Or are they simply the most believable? Because that's the game. So if you continue to walk through life hoping your quiet excellence will get recognized, understand what you're choosing: invisibility. Because talent without presence is just wasted brilliance. You must become the architect of your image, the curator of your own legend. That means thinking like a ruler, not a servant. That means asking not, what do I know, but what do they see? And if what they see is hesitation, timidity, or even humility wrapped in self-doubt, they will assume you are unworthy of command. But if they see confidence, presence, command, they will follow. Because in the end, perception is not just how the world sees you. It becomes how the world treats you. And eventually, it becomes who you are. You will rise, not because you are the best. There's something inside you that whispers, what if I'm not enough? Kill it, because that voice, that tiny, innocent-sounding question, is not your conscience. It is not humility. It is not realism. It is the first seed of your destruction. That voice is the leash, the invisible chain that keeps lions playing fetch. And it was planted in you on purpose. You were taught that doubt is wise. That hesitation is a sign of intelligence. That second guessing yourself is somehow virtuous. But here's the truth: that lie was designed to make you small. Because the man who doubts himself is no threat. The man who questions his worth doesn't lead. The man who looks in the mirror and sees maybe can be controlled. You want to know who wins in this world? It's not the most skilled. It's not the most educated. It's the one who believes, without permission, that they were born to dominate. The one who treats his own voice like law. The one who doesn't ask, am I good enough? He decides he is. Because when you believe without hesitation, you move differently. You speak with finality. You walk into every room like it's yours, even if your name isn't on the door. And when you move like that, people follow. Not because you're better, but because they assume anyone that's certain must know something they don't. And the moment you hesitate, they know. Doubt is not a private matter. Leaks, it's visible. In your eyes, in your breath, in the half-second pause before you speak. They feel it, they smell it. And when they do, they put you in a category, lesser. Because the world is predatory by design, and predators don't hunt the strong. They hunt the unsure. That's why confidence isn't optional. It's armor. When you walk through life without it, you're exposed. Every interaction becomes a negotiation of power, and if you show up doubting, shrinking, overthinking, you lose before a word is spoken. You're playing chess, but your king is lying down. You want to know how the most ruthless men on this earth think? They assume their right to lead. They don't question it. They declare it. They enter rooms and expect to be listened to. They speak with authority, not accuracy. They behave as if they've already won, not because they're reckless, because they know confidence creates the outcome. And yet here you are waiting to feel ready, waiting for some invisible approval, waiting for your past mistakes to disappear before you allow yourself to rise. As if greatness is granted to the pure, as if success is a reward for the guiltless. It isn't. Power doesn't care how many times you failed. It only asks, are you willing to kill the version of you that keeps flinching? Because that version is the one holding you back. The nice one, the cautious one, the one who keeps checking the mirror, wondering if he looks the part. He has to go. The man who ascends is not uncertain. He is brutal in his conviction. He has looked his flaws in the eye and decided they're irrelevant. He doesn't fix everything before he moves. He moves and forces the world to catch up. But you've been conditioned to seek permission before declaring power. You want a mentor to tap your shoulder, a system to reward you, a moment where the stars align and say, now, you're finally enough. That moment will never come, because power is seized, not given, and it is never offered to the hesitant. So understand this: your self-doubt is not some inner compass keeping you moral. It is a program, trap, designed to keep you polite, tame, agreeable, and weak. The people who move the world forward don't wait to be sure. They speak before they're ready. They act before they're qualified. They take before they're offered, because they know what the weak never understand. The world doesn't respond to truth, it responds to conviction, and conviction can only exist where self-doubt has been annihilated. They told you not to speak too loud, not to take up too much space, not to make others uncomfortable with your ambition. So you shrank, even when you knew you were capable of more. But here's the truth they don't want you to hear. If you want to rise, you must dominate. And if you want to dominate, you cannot ask permission. Power does not belong to the polite. It does not yield to the humble. It bows to the one who claims it, unapologetically, unshaken, and without explanation. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be obeyed. And yes, that makes people uncomfortable. Because the moment you stop softening your tone, they call you arrogant. The moment you demand what you're worth, they say you're difficult. The moment you take control of a room, they call you controlling. Good. Let them talk. While they whisper, you build. While they gossip, you conquer. While they criticize your confidence, you weaponize it. The world is not run by those who wait to be accepted. It's run by those who act as if they were already chosen. So dominate. Not with noise, but with certainty. Not with volume, but with precision. Speak like every word has weight. Walk like the ground belongs to you. Negotiate like you're doing them a favor by staying at the table. Do not explain your greatness. Display it. Do not justify your ambition. Use it. Do not dilute your presence so others can feel taller. Break their illusions by standing your full height. Because domination isn't about cruelty. It's about clarity. You know what you want. You move toward it. You don't wait to be told it's okay. You don't shrink to make others feel better about their indecision. They hesitate because they're unsure. You don't have that luxury. Because in this world, hesitation is blood in the water. People don't follow kindness. They follow confidence. They don't remember who asked nicely. They remember who walked in and took the moment. And if you keep waiting, waiting to be invited, waiting to be liked, waiting to be validated, you will be forgotten. Power is taken, not awarded. And it is taken by those who stop apologizing for wanting more. They'll try to shame you for it. They'll tell you you're too much, that you should be grateful, that you need to be more humble. They'll try to convince you that ambition is selfish, because your ambition threatens their complacency. Because domination doesn't mean hurting others. It means refusing to betray yourself. It means no longer lowering your standards to make others comfortable. It means no longer hiding your intelligence so you don't seem intimidating. It means refusing to smile when you'd rather speak. You don't need to soften your power to be respected. You don't need to dumb yourself down to be loved, and you don't need to play small to be accepted by people who never mattered. From now on, your authority comes first, not your manners, not your likability, not your need to be understood. You enter every interaction with the silent message, I will not be moved. And here's the part most men will never grasp. Domination isn't loud. It's not desperate for attention. It's not some wild swing for validation. It's control of yourself, of your environment, of the frame. When you dominate a space, you don't chase it. You become it. Every word you speak becomes the center of gravity. Every silence you hold becomes a mirror, forcing others to see their own insecurity. Because they know you're not asking to lead. You've already decided you will. And if you don't, someone else will. Someone less capable. Someone who speaks louder, moves faster, and feels no guilt about taking what should have been yours. So ask yourself, what are you apologizing for? For being ambitious, for wanting more than average, for refusing to pretend that mediocrity is noble. Stop explaining, stop asking, stop waiting. And you're not rewarded for being real. You're rewarded for being convincing. Understand this: the strongest don't win. The smartest don't rise. The most moral don't lead. The ones who win are the ones who perform their power, with precision, with control, and without apology. You've been living under the illusion that authenticity is the highest virtue, that being raw, open, and honest is the ultimate form of strength. But rawness is not strength, it is exposure, and exposure without control is vulnerability. And vulnerability in a world driven by dominance is not a badge of honor, it's a target. You want to rise, then master the performance. The world is a stage, and the only ones who shape it are those who know how to command attention, bend perception, and control the narrative before a word is spoken. The theater of supremacy begins the moment you walk into a room. Before you speak, before they know your name, they are already judging. By your posture, your stillness, your gaze. Are you walking like a man who belongs? Or are you checking to see if anyone's watching? Do you take your seat like it was made for you? Or do you ask with your body language if it's okay to exist here? They won't say it out loud. They've already decided if you are above them, beside them, or below them. And they'll treat you accordingly. That's the law of theater: control the frame, or live inside someone else's. Most men walk through life unconscious of the frame they're projecting. They move with good intentions and vague confidence, hoping their competence will eventually be recognized. But power doesn't reward the competent, it rewards the compelling. You must become a strategist of self. Your image, your tone, your timing, it must all be curated like a general prepares for war. Because that's what this is: social warfare. Hierarchy disguised as civility. And if you don't know how to present yourself, someone else will define you before you've opened your mouth. So how do you perform supremacy without saying a word? You slow down, because rushing is what the uncertain do. You hold eye contact, not to intimidate but to assert territory. You speak last, because the last voice in the room becomes the echo. You never over-explain, because men of status don't justify, they declare. This is not about pretending to be something you're not. It's about weaponizing what you are, and dressing it in the armor of conviction. Control is everything, not just of the room. Of yourself, your emotions must be subdued, calculated. Your reactions must be precise, never impulsive. You're not allowed to flinch, not allowed to stutter, not because you're faking, but because your presence must be too sharp, too intentional, too composed to leave doubt. And when they test you, and they will, you don't defend, you redirect. Because supreme men don't answer to provocation. They rise above it. They do not debate, shape the premise. They do not argue. They own the silence between their words. Every move you make, every glance, every nod, it must reinforce the same message. Not a candidate, not a hopeful, not a maybe the one. And that's where most people fail. They can't handle the solitude of it. They want to dominate, but they also want to be liked. They want to win, but they still want applause from the insecure. You can't play both roles. You're either the lead or you're part of the crowd clapping for someone else. When you master the theater, something changes. You don't chase people. They orbit you. You don't beg for attention. It seeks you. You become gravity, silent, undeniable, and always in control. And no, they may not even understand why they follow you, but they will. Because in the absence of certainty, people follow the man who performs it best. So now you decide. Are you going to keep walking into rooms hoping to be noticed? Or are you going to walk in like the role was written for you from the start?